Welcome back, people. Part 2 of this episode. As you can tell, as an Ahsoka episode, Star Wars. I'm not even going to go through the normal intro. Literally off scene when the camera was actually on. But
this will be on scene. They're going to see this.
Oh, Lord. It literally took us 10 minutes just for me to say hello and welcome back because of the excitement that these guys have.
It is 9:50, and that's coffee for George, okay? 9:50 p.m.
Coffee for George at 9:50.
Like Master Roshi.
He literally texted us like first thing this morning, I'm excited about this episode because knowing daggone well we're going to talk Ahsoka. So, George.
Whoa, were we supposed to watch Ahsoka?
Oh.
Michael, you ruined my high, okay?
Oh, no. I'm kidding.
I know. We know you watched it.
You threw off his groove.
You threw off the Emperor's groove.
I'm solid. I'm totally serious now.
Yeah, let's go. Woo! Ready.
So, usually during this time. Okay, are we done?
Yo, get on with the intro, dude.
The intro is over. I'm trying over. It's over. I'm trying to get. Okay,
I missed it.
Do it again. George, every Star Wars episode that we have, you always take the lead. George, take it away, sir.
This is happening live. This wasn't planned, boys and girls.
This is definitely not planned, but I don't care. We're going to do this anyway.
Exactly.
Let's go, people. Let's dive into some Ahsoka.
Are we gonna? Whoa. Are we gonna introduce ourselves again?
No.
You said we're not.
This is
Skip
part
right
2
past
anyway.
that part 2.
Okay.
Because we saw you guys 5 minutes ago. Hey. All right, cool. So, yeah, we finally got Ahsoka. We've been waiting for this show for God knows how long. I pretty much would think about when the Obi-Wan Kenobi series had just finished. We're like, we need something else to take us back to the Clone Wars era, and we got it with the Ahsoka series. And my God.
Yeah, I think it was the same time they announced Obi-Wan. Didn't they announce Ahsoka?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi series out the way, and the only thing that was left for us was the Ahsoka series. And I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I honestly was very nervous that they were going to push it back because of the whole thing that was going on with the strike, but they didn't. Thank you, Bob Iger.
Yeah,
Disney.
but this has been done for months at this point.
And there's stuff that's done that's getting pushed back.
True.
Essentially. So it was like a hit or miss, but we got it. And the beauty of it was this was something different. So we watched it collectively in the United States at the exact same time. So we didn't have to worry about them dropping it on Wednesday morning at midnight for the West Coast and 3 a.m. for the East Coast, which was so awesome. We finally didn't have to worry about Mike having to watch it right before work.
Dude, I woke up that day and I was like, all right, it's Ahsoka day. And I was like, not to 8 p.m.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Like, I woke up early on Tuesday and I was like, man.
See, well, if they continue to do this, I'm completely cool with this. I actually thought this was a really well thought out plan. Because here's the thing: nobody in the East Coast is up at 3 o'clock in the morning watching Ahsoka, except me. I did it at one point. I know he's doing it because he's getting ready for work. Did you do it before you go to work, or you were like, nah, bro, I'll wait till later?
I did when I was working overnight. When I was off, I would stay up all night and watch it, like Mandalorian when it came out.
Nah, bro, I'm driving
I
into
never
work.
woke up. Well, I never woke up to watch a series like that, but
G&T does not.
I'm usually piecemealing those episodes.
George does.
Yes.
Get half of it before work and the half of it on lunch or afterwards.
Listen, man, I couldn't even do half and half. I'm literally driving into work, watching Mando, and I didn't
Which
care.
we do not condone.
At all,
No.
people. Children, we do not watch shows and drive, even if you have a Tesla.
Or drink coffee at night. But who's doing it anyway?
Nobody else is doing that. Nobody.
Anyway.
Ever.
Listen, I'm Hispanic. We drink coffee at like 5 years old, man. It's like, it does nothing to me. It's just a flavor thing at this point.
Can we get like subtitles for you? Because you were talking really fast.
I'm like,
He's super hyped about this. I don't know about you, but I am too.
if you didn't watch the first part, you sound like Courage.
I did say that was like one of my favorite shows, so I probably learned something from
So
him.
yeah, so if you didn't watch part 1, go ahead and watch it.
Yeah.
Or listen.
Anyway, so yeah, let's slow down a little bit, Jorge. Here we go. All right, guys.
Bring
so
it back.
We're gonna talk. Do we want to start with the
Bring it
first episode or
back.
just a generalization of the episode 1 and 2 that we saw? I'm letting you guys choose this one.
I think because of how well it kind of continued everything. We can literally talk about
All right.
everything.
I mean, at this point, they were two phenomenal episodes.
Mhm.
Wait. Pause. Let's talk about the thing that we haven't gotten in other shows. An opening crawl.
Crawl.
Opening crawl.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
so
like a
excited.
sad crawl too.
It
Like
was,
I was
yeah.
like, this feels sad.
Yeah. That
The
was-
theme in the back of it was
like
really good. It gave me
dour.
chills.
yeah. Oh my God, that was.
It was
so
like
good.
presented by Zack Snyder.
Yeah, but if you're also like a samurai film kind of
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
that
Is that-
totally had the tone of a
Oh God, what is
samurai
that?
film.
Terazagua,
it was-
whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was. Oh my God. Great story.
that was cool.
That was cool.
It
That was
just-
amazing.
I know it caught me off guard. I
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, holy crap, I'm reading.
I mean, it just made you.
He first goes, "Holy crap, I'm reading!
It's just
Holy
like-
crap, I'm reading!"
This is what Star Wars was, though, and this is the beauty that Dave Filoni is bringing to this show. Because listen, Dave Filoni is now the new George Lucas. He is like the guy who's in charge of the whole Star Wars Disney thing that's going on here, and the guy's killing it. So why not take a page? Mind you, I'm not even gonna say take one page because he took a few pages out of George Lucas's parts, and one being the first scene of the first episode. What do we get? 2 Force wielders going in to do negotiations. What happened in our first movie, Phantom Menace? Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi going to the Trade Federation ship to do what? Negotiations. But this time, it took a turn.
The negotiations were short.
Instead of negotiations happening, which they really didn't happen in there, it went straight up to bloodshed. And that's showing you the style that this show is going into. It's a parallel to the original movie. And that's the way that it started. I thought was like,
Let's take it back to George Lucas's famous line. It's poetry. It rhymes. The Jedi went in there with good intent and didn't put forth force until it was demanded. Where these guys come out the gate swinging.
we're no Jedi.
But they didn't come out the gate swinging. They came out with this
Well, doesn't
air
he say,
of
let's show them?
yeah, but that was after he met pushback.
Mhm.
They came in and are like, I just want to go get this person.
Yeah.
Let me go do it. Okay, you're not. I'm going to take another road.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it kind of flipped, and you kind of saw that in his face and his tone, because he was just like, yeah, we kind of hide. Okay. I'm gonna show you.
takes
I'm
a
gonna show
breath.
you who we are.
Yeah.
And like another top tier hallway scene too of him with
Yes.
the
dude, first
Like
of all,
so calculated.
Yep.
yeah, you can't have a Star Wars show without a hallway scene. We've spoken about it multiple times. Hallway scenes are iconic in Star Wars, and the fact that you started off with that is like, yeah, this is Star Wars for you. You know what I'm saying? This is what we grew up with.
But I tell you this, the scene where I don't know if we got her name yet.
Oh, wait,
That-
let me.
See, it starts with an S. I forgot.
You got it on your
Cheat
notes?
sheet here. We have got
Flat.
Shin Hati.
Yeah, Shinhachi.
Hati.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when
Talk
she
about the
made
flap.
when she made it to the bridge, and she was like, "Bam, bam, force choke, the slash." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
Hit girl.
Hit girl.
Hit girl
yes.
with a lightsaber.
Yes.
Yes. Dude,
Yes. What an opening scene!
What
Like
an
it showed,
opening
like,
scene.
oh.
do it.
I think it was the first time we ever seen anybody use the force to open up one of the.
Yeah, with the little R2
yeah.
thing, the little
Yes.
astromech droid. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's how that works. Like, they all got to line up.
Yeah, but I was like, hold on. I always remember Luke like, "Hey, R2, get that for
Yeah,
me."
it was always a droid had to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, hold on, he just went like, holy crap, I never seen that before.
So the
That
way
was new.
the way I look at it is the Jedi were always lazy and they didn't want to use their force power, so trivial.
But are
But
they
also,
using their
too, if
force
you- if
for
you remem-
gain
but
when
if
they
you
get-
remember-
when they do
but if-
that?
But if you
Yeah.
remember the scenes where stuff like that happened, there would be droids or clones or stormtroopers that are shooting at the Jedi, and they have to deflect off of.
So they're
deflect-
busy.
They're busy doing their thing, and they're telling R2 like, "Hey, go open the door."
Excuses,
and that's their
Kev.
way of doing it.
Excuses.
And
we
they-
do also get Qui-Gon just cut through a door once.
Thank you. I
Yes.
was just actually thinking that. I'm like,
Yes.
hold on.
You know, like-
you tell me Qui-Gon could have just went, ying, 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 and the door opened?
I mean, hey man,
I think that panel was actually blasted. so he couldn't actually do that. That's why he then has to turn around.
And
Obi-Wan has to cover him, and he has to.
But
Turn
around.
Coffee.
Never mind. I was like, why didn't Luke ever do that? Why didn't ever he cut open the
I mean,
door?
listen, they're going into new territories, and they're finding out that the Jedi could do all these things, or these people, because they're not Jedi apparently.
What was the guy's name?
I
Barry?
ain't no Jedi.
Balin. Now,
Balin. Okay.
Balin. First of all,
yeah.
now one thing I liked about Balin, have you guys ever seen the
Punisher.
No,
He was the Punisher.
I know. That's why I was like, oh.
Larry's looking at me weird.
Yeah, he was
Punisher
Punisher.
Warzone.
Yeah.
The guy just died too.
Yeah, he just died. Yeah.
Yeah, so
R.I.P.
so we need to pay respects to Ray because I mean,
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
done a fantastic job in this role, and unfortunately, we lost him in the last year.
I hope he got to see his play, like his part in the show before he passed.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't know if he did. I don't know if it was actually finished.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's rough. That's
What,
rough.
what me and Frank talked about it at work a little bit, but the way I appreciated him when he was acting in this so far in these 2 episodes is you could tell during that he's not a typical Sith because he doesn't
Mm-mm.
use his anger or rage. He's very calm, very collected, and he would go, "Yeah, I'm not a Jedi, but I will kill you if you step in my way." But he doesn't use his anger or rage, and then him and his apprentice are very quiet and calm, but they're not afraid to kill.
Well, there was a lot of Jedi during the Clone Wars that when the Clone Wars happened, it was one of those things that your morality was affected.
I will say too, it also gave me Count Dooku vibes. The
Mm.
way
Yeah, I was
he,
about to say that
the way
too.
he
Yeah,
I
reacted,
totally
Count
see
Dooku
that.
the way
all the
he
way.
was.
Wow.
Yeah.
My question is if he is like Count Dooku,
I miss Count
where
Dooku.
Count Dooku didn't agree with the Jedi Council, he didn't agree with the Senate. That's why he turned to the dark side, and then the dark side turned him further.
I don't think
You
he's turned. I think at this point he's playing the survivor role.
Yeah.
You got to remember the galaxy was these Jedi were being hunted, and to be quite frank, if it wound up being that Darth Vader knew that Balin and his apprentice were around, and he wanted to convert them into Inquisitors, he could have did it. But these guys were in hiding. There's something that they're not telling us, and then they wound up finding out that that this lady, I forgot her name, the Night Sister, which they've confirmed
the witch.
that she's a Night
She
Sister.
is a Night Sister.
family.
They
Yeah.
That's
was-
the other thing I caught.
Revolutionary.
Zondi?
I forgot her name.
Morgan.
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 Elsbridge.
Morgan.
Elsbridge, yes. That's a weird Star Wars name, by the way. That's a
You
very
see, you
like,
read my writing. You tell me if you can figure it out.
yeah, right. Chicken scratch to the extreme.
But yeah, the droid, I'm blanking on the name, the droid that's with Ahsoka, he said that Balin was in the.
Dude, I've been studying Star Wars names for like 35 years. I have
Yeah.
no more room for them.
Way or
Like, I can
so
tell
many.
you like Queequay, I can tell you like Snaggletooth, I can tell you Prune Face. I can't tell you the new ones, okay? It just doesn't work in my brain anymore.
So what's the
So I
droid's
write
name?
it down.
Who way?
Ho Yang?
Who yeah.
yeah.
Who, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
He says Balin was in the Order. He remembers him being there, but the apprentice he doesn't remember the apprentice because of the
The
lightsaber
lightsabers,
hilts.
yeah.
The hilts.
Yeah, so
confirms.
Hu Yang was like the original lightsaber builder.
Yeah.
And I
was the
thought
one-
that was awesome.
He
I-
is.
He is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not was.
Oh,
he
gotcha,
is.
yeah.
Now, is he? I may have missed it, but was he just around for the Clone Wars, or was he been there?
No, he goes back to like
long?
Old
No, he
Republic.
goes
He's been
back
around
longer.
for thousands of years,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
We first see him in Star Wars Clone Wars when they do
The
the
Padawan.
episodes with the Padawans,
Mhm.
and they learn to build a lightsaber and go to I forget what the planet is, and to find their crystals and everything. Yeah, which is voiced by David Tennant, and David Tennant then reprised his role for this.
No
and
way,
it
that's
is
awesome.
fantastic.
It sounds
I
so
love
good.
David Tennant. You did a good job, bro.
Listen, I think the casting in this show is just phenomenal. Mary Elizabeth Weinstein, who we all know is Ewan McGregor's wife, so now they're both in Star Wars, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She's playing Hera Syndulla, and I think she's doing great. I don't think she has there's nothing that throws me off.
General Syndulla now.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
sorry.
don't demote her.
There's nothing classified here.
Anyway, General Syndulla, but yeah, no, she's doing phenomenal. The
She
girl,
was the best part in my opinion.
Yeah, she
I
was.
don't know, man. I think I like Sabine. I like her character.
I agree.
and
I love that whole
I
relationship
want to
there.
know what happened with Sabine the most. Like,
So, well, you've seen Rebels.
yeah, no, I want to know like what happened between her and Ahsoka. Like,
Oh,
they're definitely gonna guess
Ahsoka
what
dropped
happened.
her
Yeah,
as an apprentice in the Rebels. Like she thought she wasn't fit for it. But you know what's crazy? There was a line in the episode, and Ahsoka was like kind of having this revelation that she didn't finish her training with Anakin. So
Because she walked away.
because she walked away,
Mhm.
but she's doing the same thing with Sabine.
Yeah,
so
but
she
walked away. But she said that once again, I walked away. I walked away from Sabine.
yeah.
The same way
Because,
I
well,
walked
technically,
away from Anakin.
But Anakin walked away from her a little bit too, if you really think about
absolutely.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because he went to a whole different side there.
But once again,
Would he have still walked
the
away
pain
if
from
she
one
did?
person's view,
I don't think so though.
the pain from one
Yeah.
person's view is it was me. I walked away. Doesn't matter what Anakin ended up doing,
Yeah.
but I walked away. Just the same way that I walked away from her. That's the reason
That's
why
exact-
the connection was so great.
Yeah,
coming back.
it's a parallel.
Mhm.
She's seeing it, and it's kind of like, oh damn, and it's almost kind of like it makes me wonder a lot of the times when I'm watching. Like I watched it like 2 or 3 times already, and I'm just like, are we going to have Ahsoka finish her training with Anakin as a Force ghost?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna
I-
get some sort of flashback or kind of reminiscing or rehashing of like how she finally actually like finished her training. Remember, she was also pretty close to being done her training.
Yeah,
Which
she
She
was.
had-
wasn't too
Anakin.
far. Yeah.
She wasn't far off from the trials.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
She just happened to get into that little debacle with Barris.
It's what you said. You said this a couple times. Is how much longer is she going to be around? So could she go at the end of the series?
let's look
No.
at it this way.
It's not going to be the end of the series. If she does, I think it will be in the movie they're setting up.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't we hear her in The Force
do.
Awakens?
Not the Force
Rise-
Awakens.
Rise
That we don't
Skywalker.
wanna
Rise
forget
Skywalker.
about.
Rise and Skywalker.
I thought when
The Rise of
Ray
Skywalker.
got the lightsaber, did we hear her?
Mm.
No.
No, the Rise of Skywalker.
It was Rise of Skywalker. Okay, okay. Never
They
mind
had
then.
Ashley Eckstein, which, by the way,
I've never
did
seen.
you guys see Ashley Eckstein in the episode?
No.
No, she was there.
Was she?
I missed Ashley Epstein.
I think that was her. Oh, never mind. No, it was Morgan. I got you.
I was about
More
to
like you
say.
got yourself
Put the coffee down.
Never. No, actually, when they opened up the door to get Morgan, I'm like, oh, I thought it was Ashley Eckstein. I was like, oh, that played me. It wasn't her.
Now here's my shock when they went ahead and said that she was a Night Sister. I went immediately to
Google.
no,
Ventress?
Massage
Ventress?
Ventures.
huh?
Ventures?
Ventress?
No,
Maul.
Oh,
Maul?
back
Cal
to-
Kestis.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I immediately went Cal Kestis and went Star Wars Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Never played it.
It's an amazing game,
It's great.
I gotta watch.
never
this.
played the Survivor
I've been
one
meaning to
yet.
watch like the cutscenes. I just never.
but the game itself, they go to Dathomir.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. And you go to Dathomir in the game. There's no more Night Sisters except for one left,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and
And that's where you
that
get,
ended up being
that's- that's where you get your dual wield lightsaber too.
exactly. So, and Dathomir, and Dathomir, where we learn, at least I learned for sure about the Night Sisters, for sure from the game. And she's a Night Sister from that planet. I went, holy crap! I don't remember them talking about Dathomir any other time
Yep.
except in this game.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So therefore, if she's a Night Sister, and the only time they talk about it's in the game, could the game be canon?
Oh, the game is definitely
game
canon.
is yeah.
It's 100%. It
It's
has to
definitely
be.
canon now.
So that means that Cal Kestis could be around right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yup.
I mean,
I mean, it makes sense.
essentially,
You
yeah, it
have
could
the
be.
actor. It's
Yeah.
the same guy.
Was it something?
He was in Shameless. He was in
Jonathan-
Shameless. I forget his name.
No, I forget his name. But he's the guy. He
He's the
motion
guy.
captured the entire game.
Fallen Order, forgive me.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to watch the
He
cutscenes
played
one
the
day.
Joker in the Batman series on Fox.
So fun fact, I watched about 3 episodes of that and said, "F this. This is
Oh.
terrible."
He
They
was
had
al-
a
he
Goat
was-
Man villain, and
he's
I was like,
mostly-
"No."
He's mostly known for Shameless. The
I
show
gotcha.
Shameless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, game is great. That's great. And I put that together quickly. I was proud of myself.
He was like, I know what that
I
is.
got that one.
And then hopefully, Larry, you remember
No,
they
no.
talked about the Night Sisters in Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated series. Oh,
That's-
wait,
that's-
did you not finish that?
I did not.
I didn't watch it either,
Oh,
but I
shots
learned
fired.
about them from doing my who's Darth Maul's brother?
Savage Press.
Yeah.
Yes.
From doing like my research on that comic book, I learned about the Night Sisters, and I was
his
like,
comic
wow.
book's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed. I was like, oh, that's cool. Because you posted one of those.
Yeah, it was the first appearance of him.
Yeah.
It was attached to the first appearance of Aang in the Avatar. So it's like
Yep.
one side is Avatar and one
Yeah,
side
it
is
was a
Clone Wars.
free one, right?
Free comic book day, yeah. That's how I learned about the Night Sisters. But it was really cool to see like the green flame, not to jump to the end,
Oh, yeah.
but to see her using like the magic flame at the end. I was like, wow,
There was
I know what that is.
in the Mandalorian. I kind of figured she was a Night Sister though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she had the red gown, and they were synonymous with the Night Sister.
They also have markings too, don't
They
they?
have
Have
markings.
markings on their
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
But if you notice in the Mandalorian, they didn't give like too clear of a visual of her face too long.
Yeah,
She
wasn't-
no,
I
see markings on her
So
face.
the
I
crazy
noticed
part
that.
was though in the Mandalorian though they had more white makeup on her that gave me that impression of her being a Night Sister.
Oh,
In
okay.
the Ahsoka
Yeah.
series, I think I don't know. They were complaining about the color grading in the show, but maybe the color grading had took some of that off and made it more like a regular skin tone,
Right.
or maybe they just lightened up on that white. But yeah, there was ties to her being a Night Sister in the Mandalorian series too. Yeah.
See, that's the deep dive stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't even know about that when I saw that.
Yeah, I was like, she's a Night Sister, and then I was like, and then there was rumors on YouTube and stuff, and they were like, yeah, we're potentially saying she's a Night Sister. I'm like, I knew it. But yeah, back to the Ahsoka series, guys. So can we pretty much agree that this is Rebels season 5?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They pretty much came out and
Yes.
said it, that
It's-
it's going to be Rebels Season 5.
But I think it's great. I think you know what's fun. Rebels was actually one of those shows that I didn't like jump into right at first. I saw Clone Wars and I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then something was like, I want to know what this Rebels thing's about. I mean, it's right before episode 4. So we're gonna probably see some cool characters, right? And then I jump into it. I'm like, this is phenomenal cartoon stuff. Like they took Clone Wars and made it into something even better with characters that I never even heard of.
Right.
And I think that's what made it beautiful. And then when you threw in Ahsoka and Rex and all that stuff, it was like, oh, it ties together. But yeah, this for me, this definitely feels like Rebel season 5, and we're finally gonna get them actually going to find Thrawn, going to find Ezra, and to my surprise, we find out that the place that the Purgles send them to was not the unknown regions; it's a whole nother universe. So, Frank, you want to talk about that?
Which that's been driving me nuts because I know tons of the legends and lore, but I can't remember where I've seen it before. That the origins of the Sith and Jedi are not from the universe that Star Wars currently takes place in. They're from another universe that has come across. So if that is the case, and if that's what they're really playing at here, because even Morgan says that, like, my ancestors came from
Right.
from there, and now, we have a connection back. But, like, if they're doing that, they are giving a huge nod to a lot of legends that are out there, and they're bringing a lot of legends back into canon, which quietly Disney has kind of confirmed that to be the case for this series.
They've been
John and Dave has
a
been
while,
like
yeah.
saying that, like, we're going to confirm a lot to be canon
And that's
that may have or may have not, that has been ambiguous before.
I think it's great too because with the Mangold movie and the first Jedi, we're gonna see that, but it looks like it's gonna be in this new universe.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be in the universe that we're so used to. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be cool that they're not gonna have like free range on this new universe that we've never seen before. And it's funny because I'm sitting there cracking up. And I think I told you earlier, and I'm like, wait a minute. So remember that one EU story where Han Solo went to Earth? Is that of universe Earth? Are we in there, bro? Is that our
Oh, no.
universe? Like, how funny would that be?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I know. But yeah, what are you thinking about the episode, Kev?
I mean, it's pretty much Rebel season 5. It definitely gave me that vibe. What I also appreciated was Sabine and General O'Hara, and that scene where after she gets stabbed and she's in the room, and Ahsoka walks away and Hera talks to her. It gave me Rebels vibes because Hera was the mom of the team.
Yep.
And Sabine was the younger daughter, and it's nice to know that even in live adaptation, it still feels that way. And all these years later, she's still the mom of the group, since Ezra is not around, Kanan's gone, and it's just her leading the team, where Sabine is doing her own thing, and pretty much the whole team is just scattered. But it's nice to know that
The paper came back out, guys.
I'm trying to think of a name.
Think of it, or you have to read it. You can't read it, can you?
Nope.
Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, I appreciated that, and I agree. I still think Hera was the best part of the 2 episodes for me. I think she did a phenomenal job playing as her, and I'm excited to see more of her. But I also did love the Chopper scene.
Chopper was great.
Chopper.
I understood his words.
I understood what he was
Totally.
saying.
He's like, "I was not." Like, it's so funny.
Like, just them talking, and he's like, "Where's that? Did you move my stuff again?" Like, you can't hear, but you can hear. Like, you can understand what he's saying. It's
Well, I think
funny.
that's so interesting because Dave has said before that when it comes to this series, the fans are giving like backlash on like small details. Ahsoka's tentacles aren't long enough, things like that. And he's like, but the animated series is animated. Animation is going to be a distortion of reality. So if that's supposed to be the animation of these true events, like things are going to look a little different. Things are going to sound a little different. So like the fact that we can hear Chopper now is so much better. It's like, oh, okay, that was the distortion of like you could barely understand him.
You know, it's a great parallel to Guardians when we heard Groot talk. Like, that was kind of like a eye-opener
too.
thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? So now we're, like, watching Chopper, and I'm like, yo, I don't have to have subtitles? I don't have to wait for them to say what he's saying back to them? Because you notice how they always did that, right? They would have, like, the droid talk, and for us to understand it, they would re-say it in a way that we were like, well, I didn't move that. No, I did not move it. You know what I mean? So, like, it's funny that it's now understandable to us, and it's almost like I'm part of that universe now.
What I was listening to people talk about Ahsoka, and Frank, you said too, how they're complaining about little things. What bothered me was this guy was complaining about how every scene and every time Ahsoka stand, she had her arms crossed.
That's what she did.
That's what she did. Exactly.
That's
her
what a
pose.
Jedi does. But that's when she's not a
but that's
Jedi.
also
But like
her
they put their
pose.
hands in their robe, they stand cross.
Yeah.
Like
That's what she does.
Like, she always used to be like this.
always.
Always.
Literally right after I was right after
leaning to the side.
yeah, and right after I watched that video, I went to Rebels because I'm rewatching it, and literally the first scene that she's in, she does the arm cross. I'm like,
And
what's the difference? She does the same thing.
Look, we already know people's going to complain just to complain.
That's why I said
For
Star
no
Wars
reason.
fans are the most overly critical fan base I've ever seen. And
For a character that they didn't even originally like. Like,
It's
she
not
grew
fair,
on
right?
us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, in the
like-
first movie, we're like, who the hell is this kid? Why is she with Anakin? Anakin's got an apprentice? Like,
why
I
is there a
remember
baby
watching that in
Jabba?
theaters. I remember watching the Clone Wars movie in theaters, and I was like, who is this?
showing her age, bud.
I know.
But look, she's a beloved character now.
Yeah.
Super
That's
beloved.
like, and like how she's like entangled with so much.
Yeah.
How they put her in the middle of everything.
Everything.
It's like she's the connection to the Skywalkers and everything else. Like, she's everything. You know what I mean? Like, she's in the middle of everything, and I love how they're just unfolding her.
She's like, and we all know how Star Wars has always been a movie about like Western backgrounds and like Japanese backgrounds and stuff like that. But she is the lone samurai. She's everywhere.
She's the Ronin. Yeah,
She's Ronin.
totally.
You know what I mean? She's out in everything in any situation, and she's always doing the right thing, trying to make sure that people are taken care of. And for somebody that's not a Jedi, that doesn't really need to do that, she could be like Balin and the Apprentice. I forgot the name already. But she can be like them easily and be like, we're no Jedi, and then pull out orange lightsabers and fight everybody. But she's not, and that still has for me always been something that I feel like she's always carried over from Anakin. Now, already by this point, we already know that she knows that Anakin is Darth Vader, or was Darth Vader, because he's already dead. But you notice it didn't sway her in any type of way. She's still with the Force, doing the Jedi code, but in a way that's more of like a gray Jedi. And I know a lot of people don't like the concept of a gray Jedi.
I do.
I love it.
It's different.
I love it.
I think the concept of a gray Jedi is perfect, because why must you always be one side or the other? Why can't there be a path in the middle that you can make your decisions? Because if you think about the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars series or Clone Wars show, the father was essentially the gray Jedi. You know what I mean? You had the father and the son, or the son and the daughter. And the daughter was the Jedi and the son was on the dark side. The father was that gray Jedi, and he was portrayed gray.
You can kind of see that with Qui-Gon a little bit. Qui-Gon showed a little bit of that gray
Yep.
Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Qui-Gon is
Totally.
is the definition of a great
Yeah.
Jedi. You know what I mean? He didn't believe in the Jedi, code and all that stuff. And
I said it before, but remember that time in that Star Wars movie when Rey and what's his face were going to get together and be gray Jedis, and they were like, we can be good and bad, and it'll be okay, and they didn't do it.
yeah, no.
They so should have done that for the sequels. Like,
I mean, I feel like they're setting things up, because if you notice, we got the orange lightsaber, so that's a definite stay. Larry,
Disney, make me a crystal. You have my money.
I want a lightsaber.
All right.
Give me-
They're definitely gonna at the Galaxy's Edge. They're definitely gonna have both their hilts there, the Balin and the Apprentice, and they gotta have the orange light crystal. They got to.
I'm going next year. You coming?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Trip to
Pictures.
Oh, dude, we're all going. Yeah.
But I have two questions for you guys,
Oh, Jesus.
and one of them was when me and Frank were coming over here actually. But the first question, I feel like this is gonna be a quick one, since we have almost every single Rebels character in live action. Do you think we'll see Kanan at all in this series?
Do you think we hear him? Maybe
But-
in Sabine's
Do
head.
you think it's gonna be Frey Prince?
Why not?
I mean,
That's the only reason we know him.
It would be interesting if we get Kanan as something to be
Even
like
if it's just a
Force
flashback.
Ghost with
I would take a
Sabine,
flashback.
or like training with Sabine.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. We know there is a scene where she like is doing like a Force move that's gonna come up, and whether or not she could actually do something or not. And in that moment, if they give us something with that training scene, then it would be interesting.
We've seen.
I don't think we see him. I agree.
We
with
just
George.
see.
I don't think we see him.
It's just we've seen everybody now. I mean, Ezra, yeah, he was just a hologram, but we're definitely gonna see him, whether it's in the series or we're gonna see him in the movie.
did see him.
No, but I'm
The
saying
picture on the wall.
Which
the one that she puts her
let's talk
finger
about
on?
that. The fact that they literally put that as like, we're gonna highlight this scene here and have the whole mural of the Rebels crew and lift that up and put that right there to really even start off the whole show.
That's why
Dude.
I love how this show started, because it didn't start when we saw Ahsoka and Sabine at the end. It started prior to that. So we see Sabine is supposed to be honored at this thing in Lothal, and she's not there. And why? Because she just lost Ezra. Kanan's dead. The war took a toll on her. This all built up on her, and then on top of that, she lost Ahsoka as her master. So now she's like, well, what am I here for?
Can we diverge for a minute? I always love hearing like rock and roll music in Star Wars,
Yes.
like heavy, like crazy music. I'm
And
like,
it's not
yes!
that weird stuff that we
Yeah.
hear in like Jabba's palace.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not that like.
Sorry, I told you I was excited. Yeah, I thought I was joking.
I just think we should see him just because we've seen everyone.
But here's the
Sly
thing,
Snoodle. That's her
just-
name. See, I told you.
I'm
I know
glad
all
you know
those
her
names.
name.
Sly Snoodle, but I can't remember the great Jedi's name.
Now, here's my question. And I don't remember seeing this too strong in Rebels.
Mm.
Is he strong enough to have a Force Ghost?
Who, Kanan?
Yes. Because Force Ghosts is supposed to be reserved
Yeah, you got to be trained.
for the one, like for the most powerful Jedi's
Mm-hmm.
that's out there.
Not for the most powerful Jedi's.
Well, there was a training for it though, and he
Yeah.
wouldn't have had that.
So,
training.
the training for Force Ghosts we see in Star Wars Clone Wars Season 6, which is the Netflix Yoda little mini series
Yep.
that they did, which
Oh, you're talking
basically
about-
highlights the real like training to become a Force Ghost is not that you're extremely powerful, but that you know both sides of the Force.
Yeah, because
Everyone's barred until they know the other side.
Mm.
hence why Vader was able to do a Force Ghost
Yeah.
when he died.
But why did Obi-Wan know
Because
the
he's
dark
probably
side?
gotten
Obi-Wan got trained from Yoda, but told that your master has a training for you.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
also-
just
he
wondering
gets
how like
trained
Obi-Wan
from
knows the
Qui-Gon.
dark side.
I mean, he didn't go dark side, but he went into the dark in his own path. Like he went into a phase of his
Like,
life where he
mentally,
was,
though,
yeah,
like-
he was in
Doesn't
the
mean
dark.
you have to use the dark
Oh,
side.
okay,
You
okay.
just have to understand it.
But you have to understand it and connect to that.
I think I told you this, my theory on that.
Mhm.
I believe he actually touched it.
When?
So, and this is my opinion. If you remember Phantom Menace, all right, the scene where Qui-Gon dies,
Oh,
Right? and now Obi-Wan is now fighting Darth Maul, and he's hanging onto the ledge. And as Darth Maul is teasing him and what have you, if you look and pay attention to Darth Maul's face right before Obi-Wan jumps up, Darth Maul looks at him puzzled and looks to him to the side like,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? Almost as if he was sensing something from him
He's his
that
rage
he
and
never
anger.
touched before.
Yeah.
He
That
tapped
didn't
in.
come from him.
Wow.
So that anger, I believe Darth Maul saw or felt. Oh, I believe Darth Maul sensed the anger from Obi-Wan. That's when he had the power to jump out of there, grab his sword, and slice him in half.
I
So
will
you
say
say
that that makes
Obi-Wan had
sense
to use the dark side to get the high ground in that fight.
The only time it worked.
but it makes sense because even in the Clone Wars series when they brought Maul back, you saw a different side of Obi-Wan whenever Maul's around. Like he kills the girl that he loves,
Mhm.
you know, and that makes total sense. Like,
Wow.
Maul was the only
Larry,
reason of
Deep
why he
thoughts
gets.
of Larry Marshall.
Damn, that was good.
So you're saying Maul was the reason for anger and suffering and rage, and then Vader was, for his like depression and everything.
Sheesh. And this is why Star Wars will forever be loved.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
There's so much stuff that you can dive into and
'Cause-
dissect. Because I would have never thought of that. That's crazy, man.
Because he hates Maul. It's the
Until that-
signs of the dark side: hate,
Just think,
anger, rage, suffering.
and
And now he's suffering with Vader, and he hated Darth Maul. I mean,
Wow.
And think about this: the very last scene where Darth Maul officially dies in Rebels, which is one of the greatest scenes that was only like maybe 20 seconds long.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Preach.
If you think about how Obi-Wan went ahead and just analyzed and went ahead and went his stance,
mhm.
then he went to Qui-Gon's stance.
Yes.
Not Qui-Gon's.
No, he started with Qui-Gon's stance.
Started with Qui-Gon's stance.
and then went to his own stance.
Well, no, he
No,
starts.
no.
So he
He's-
starts.
He
with
did his Obi-Wan Clone Wars. But he's like,
yeah.
oh, I'm not that guy no more. He
Obi-Wan's-
went to
yeah.
Ben. Nope. I'm Qui-Gon.
And he went to
Yeah,
Qui-Gon.
and they went to
He went-
Qui-Gon to
he
trick
went
him.
He went to Qui-Gon on purpose because he knew that he was going to attack him the same way that he attacked Qui-Gon.
Yes.
And then he went ahead and reversed, and that's how he sliced him instantly. Someone that's plotting on that type of situation will only come up with that. That wasn't last minute type.
No,
No,
no.
he's
Type of
been
thought.
he's been
He said-
thinking
he
about
was
that for a long
years
time.
and years
He's
and
had
years.
that vision in his head, and he's like, if that moment comes
When
again,
when that
I know
happens,
what I have
I'm
to
going
do.
do this, and this is what's going to get him.
The Star Killer, the actor who plays Star Killer, literally
Yes.
said that with fans. He's like, yeah, the reason why it was so quick because you see the experience of Obi-Wan and what he did and how he was able to beat him.
Sam Whitworth?
Sam
Yeah,
Witwer.
yeah.
And the way Sam puts it down is just
Oh, yes.
amazing. Watching that video is just like, ooh, this is a Star Wars nerd
That-
letting his freak flag shine and showing you
That boy
every
knows
bit of
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
He knows Star Wars. He even put Dave Filoni on point one time.
That's
He's
how
the
he
reason
got
why-
his job.
That's how he got his
That's how
job.
he got his job.
He
It was audition. And,
yeah, cause yeah.
he corrected Dave Filoni on something. I
He
forget
Wasn't
does
it
what it
about
was.
so
Darth
he
Maul?
does this scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does the scene, and it's a scene where Darth Maul meets I can't remember who it is, and they wrote it as if Darth Maul in this scene is meeting this character for the first time, and they go through they do the scene and all, and he goes, "Can we redo that scene because Maul was here at this event, and I've already met this character, so we can't do it that way."
And he was 100%
And Filoni
on
was
point.
just like,
damn, son.
Okay.
The people next to Dave, they're like, oh, he's lost his hope to
yeah,
get
like
this job. But
Dave
was
literally like has that stare of like, I'm processing in my head. How do I? Is this correct? Yes, it's correct. We need to redo this. He's right.
yeah.
Holy crap!
And guess
they,
what?
And they did it,
Hired
and
him.
He got him.
And they hired him.
That's what's up.
Yo, Sam Witwer is like the epitome of Star Wars fans. He's like, he knows Star Wars inside out, up, down, left, right, BA, all of that stuff. And
The ABA start.
you know it.
Yup. Totally.
But yeah, he knows.
Which
his
is
stuff.
why he is Darth Maul and Emperor Palpatine. Later
Yeah,
on.
he does the voiceover for Palpatine. They were asking him, they were like, man, the guy who's doing Palpatine's voice isn't cutting it. And then they asked him to do it, and he nailed it. I'm like, dude, you were meant for Star Wars. Which brings me to my next thing.
Yes.
So, we've seen Inquisitor in the Ahsoka show, right?
Uh huh.
Mhm.
All right, this Inquisitor, we only know him as Marek. Okay? Marek. Where's this name from, sir?
There is a small character in a small video game called Star Wars: The Force Unleashed called Galen Merrick,
Mm-hmm.
Star Killer, the original apprentice of Darth Vader.
Voiced by the one and only.
Sam Witwer.
So-
Yup.
You think he's Star Killer?
I have a few
it's
theories.
that feeling. So,
Yeah, hasn't been confirmed.
it hasn't been confirmed, but check this out, right? So, the episode 2, when they're having the, they're talking to,
Episode 2.
the girl. Episode 2 of the Ahsoka.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of that. Okay.
The,
Apprentice.
no, not the apprentice. The
Oh,
girl,
I'm
the night sister lady.
Oh,
Morgan.
Morgan.
So they're talking to Morgan, and in an instant, so Balin's talking, the apprentice is, quiet, and then you hear the Inquisitor go, he grunts. If you guys look at the post credits, it names Sam Witter as the grunt from the
Really?
Inquisitor. Yes.
Yep.
Really?
Really.
Did they put his voice in?
His-
Is he
I
going
did
to
see
be?
that, but I didn't
grunted.
fully read it.
He grunted.
Yeah.
So, do we have?
Star Killer.
Star
as an-
Killer.
as an Inquisitor.
And here's the funny part.
Sam, you have lied to us. You said you had no part of this.
Listen, he put a voiceover of a grunt. That's all we got, guys. So don't put don't jump to conclusions yet. But the crazy part is, right? So we got his name is Marek. All right, that's one, right? Dave Filoni has multiple times said if there is a way that I can bring him into live action, he doesn't state who character wise. He just says bring Sam Witwer into live action. It would be a representation of Starkiller.
Did he play Maul in the Solo movie, or was that the original actor who played him?
Ray
I'm sorry.
So Ray Park played the physical, but Sam Witwer did the voiceover.
Right.
Yeah.
And who are we getting in this show? We're getting Ezra. You think he's going to have a little voice in the back of his head at one point of maybe someone who tried to train him?
Ooh, does Sam get multiple parts in this?
Do we
Right.
get the Maul voiceover?
I don't know.
Hold on. So you telling me that this show potentially could have Starkiller, Ezra, and Maul?
I mean, listen, anything is possible
it's-
in this show.
They're
This
setting
is-
it up.
this is
I don't
some
think we're seeing
serious fan
Ezra until the
theory.
very end, if we even see Ezra
We're
physically.
definitely not getting Ezra until that last episode.
We got the
100%.
hologram of him. That's as far as we got right now.
Because
So
how many
you don't
episodes
think
are
like
there?
you don't think like Blues Brothers is gonna bring like the band back together?
We get a
will.
hologram of him that was the hologram that we didn't know he left for Sabine before they went to the battle.
No, it was in the episode. It was in Rebels. That hologram was in Rebels.
We see that in Rebels?
We do.
I can't remember that.
We do. It was toward the end. She had that hologram. and that's
How
what she had
how
on
many
tape.
episodes are we getting? Is it 6 or 8?
8. I just found out. I told
It's
you
8.
6 the other day, and I was mad. I was like, damn it, I told him the wrong thing. It's definitely 8 though.
I'm not. I'm.
And
Well,
the
you was
first
right, it
one was like
6 more.
56, and I think the other one was like 46. So they're both like leaning
They're,
pretty
they're
heavy.
pretty long episodes, and thank God.
Hold on. So, okay, I can't get past the Starkiller thing.
We can tell you're stuttering.
Because-
This could not happen at all. But I mean, it'd be
But
just
if-
what if?
But here's the thing: Starkiller ain't no joke.
No.
Starkiller, the
No, he's
original
not.
one to bring down a flipping Star
Yes,
Destroyer.
and this is
But
why-
it took Vader like 20 years to do that after he did it.
So remember, guys, this is going to be a version of Starkiller. It's not going to be the Starkiller.
It don't matter. He's still the Starkiller.
I want these
for us, yeah, we know
I
him
want
as
the
Starkiller.
If you want to bring Starkiller, bring Starkiller.
You got to think though. Remember, at this point, Vader's dead, and all of that stuff that happened in the Force Unleashed was prior to the end of the Empire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in
Right.
theory, again, this can't be the Starkiller that we know, but it can be a representation to bring him into live action and kind of flip his story a little bit.
But Starkiller is Starkiller a clone?
Correct.
And the Starkiller is a clone.
There was
that
a
mean
bunch
that
of
he
them.
don't have to be old.
There was a
that-
bunch
And that
of them.
also doesn't mean that this is Starkiller of the level of Force Unleashed. It could be a clone of him that is not as good necessarily.
I did his breath thing, but I did it really
So it's Starkiller's clone. A
It-
clone
there
of a
could,
clone.
there could be so
Yeah.
many clones.
Because look, Starkiller.
This could be the beginning of the cloning process of what
Now,
Emperor Palpatine was
now,
doing.
Now here's
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh snap! You
Because yeah,
are
you
the
figure
target.
what's his name?
That could be the way they could
Who
do
was
it.
the guy?
Moff Gideon.
Yes, and he can't figure out the
cloning-
how to get the Force and the midichlorians in there and everything. Like maybe they figured it out with Starkiller.
Okay, but first off, like I wasn't even thinking anything crazy about that Inquisitor because in all actuality, that if that was Starkiller, Ahsoka would have had a whole lot more problems than that little fight that we got.
Well, here
Because Starkiller would have
We're
gave
gonna get a
Ahsoka
we'd get a watered
some work.
we'd get a watered down version of him.
Yo, I got a whole nother
Or
level on that
Ahsoka's
Inquisitor guy.
also that badass.
Well, she is, but I mean, but it would have been
Yeah,
more
no,
of a
come
battle.
I
Like
mean-
it wouldn't have been him running.
Here's
No.
All that shit.
here's a big red flag for me, and it's just gonna throw a whole nother curveball. Look at the body type of that Inquisitor.
He's rather
Pretty small.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking he was a low part. I was like, I sure hope that's not Ezra already.
Bingo.
That's what we thought.
Yeah,
And I'm like, it could
But
be.
the problem with that is Ezra is off in this other
Yeah.
galaxy now that we know, so he cannot actually be.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would defeat the
That.
purpose of the Eye of Zion and for them to try
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
into this new universe
But
thing.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
this Inquisitor hasn't spoken it. He doesn't talk.
He grunted.
He grunted. you don't really get much of him until he fought Ahsoka.
And let's talk about his fighting style. So like he is very agile.
Yes.
Very agile. He's actually more agile than any of the other Inquisitors we got in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Like he's moving.
he's very. What I was actually taking from it, he's very Snake Eyes from.
Bingo. I'm
Jedi.
thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
That actually that's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, he does.
Again,
kinda remind-
Snake Eyes, played by Ray Park.
And he kind of even has that look of him too, because they have that medieval style helmet
yeah.
and cage on him.
So it's like very, 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 very athletic, very, very nimble.
Yeah.
Small. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they drop for him. I mean, listen, if they drop a bomb and it is Sam and he's in the show and we got a representation of Starkiller in some way, shape, or form, because to really think about it, when we saw Andor and they had the Starkiller costume in the episode,
Yeah, the helmet.
it looked
Yeah.
just like this
Mhm.
Inquisitor helmet.
It was the Sith one.
The Sith helmet,
Where,
yeah.
the Sith ending.
So it looks, it could be. It could be. So at this point, my hopes are up. I really want this to happen.
But this could also not happen.
Yeah,
you
don't
know what?
like Mephisto
But
this.
this is.
I know.
But isn't this so Star Wars?
It's so
Yeah,
Star Wars.
so
man.
is Star
Isn't it so
Wars.
Star Wars? It's like, what if it's him? What if it's him? Like, I'm so stoked over the fact that it could be Starkiller, and I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, everybody was thinking it was like slim body.
Yeah.
Thought it was a
Yeah.
female. First thing that popped in the mind, Barasafi. You know what I mean? Everybody was like, oh, that's a female's body.
They
It's
just
really
keep
thin.
asking that she's gonna pop up, but it's just,
But you know what, though? And the reason why a lot of people keep asking is because the story would be so poetry because that whole thing that happened with Ahsoka was because of Barris. So
Yeah.
why not closure and shut that story out the way?
we never even seen what happened to her.
And that's the thing. Her story is a complete mystery at this point.
Because who was the one who beat her in the giant temple when she got caught?
Ahsoka.
Anakin.
Oh, Anakin. Whoops.
Yep.
I fudged.
So who's to say that he would be, once he was Vader, he would go back and set her free?
Yeah, no.
Just something to think about.
Yeah.
Probably won't happen, but it's just something to think about.
So Star Wars, and there's
I mean-
only 8 episodes, guys.
And we got
Eight.
all this in 2 episodes so far.
I also
before
I-
I forgot.
no, I was gonna say the other thing I did like about the first 2 episodes is they got all the slow stuff out of the way in those first 2 episodes.
They did.
Yeah.
Now
That's
we're,
what I appreciate. They didn't drag it along.
But you know what? Like, I was just rewatching the episodes. Everyone's kind of like been critiquing that, like, yeah, these are like the slow episodes. But if you look at like the timestamps as you go through things, like we're getting stuff like boom, 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 boom. It's moving.
Mhm.
If you actually sit there and go and like, okay, this is a major event that happens. Pause it. It's 5 minutes in.
Yeah,
6 minutes in. You're like, it's constant.
the first episode, it took Ahsoka to find the map like in 10-15 minutes of the show.
Yo,
Yeah.
how cool was it when she threw her lightsabers
Yo.
down?
Threw it down, and she just falls.
bro, just her jumping down from opening that hole, from far away, she looked the part. Like Rosario Dawson looked like Ahsoka from the TV show. I I couldn't even tell the difference.
When she
I thought she folded her arms too much.
when she took
Yeah.
the from underground and was cutting the holes and bringing them
bringing them
down
down.
to her. I'm like,
Only in Ahsoka fashion could she do that.
But
Like,
but that's also like I could see Anakin doing that too.
yeah,
Like
I
that
mean,
was so Anakin too.
yeah. Like there's so many parallels with her, and then I'm excited.
Yeah, and when she got down there, it felt like a video game.
It felt like
Oh,
a Tomb Raider
yeah.
game.
Yep.
That was
I
so a
felt
Tomb
she's like
Raider
standing
game.
there, she's like,
Tomb Raider or Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
felt just like that. How she had to line all that up because that's all you did. All you did in Fallen Order was like the puzzle of how to get to this
Oh
part.
god, the puzzles.
And don't get me wrong, I wanted to throw a controller at the screen when I was playing
Yep.
Fallen Order because I'm like,
too.
how do I get this? But yeah, and you had to do it. You had to line it up, and then everything lined up. All right, cool. That lit up. All right, cool. Turn this one. It was a whole process. It wasn't like a
Yeah, but it's 20 minutes for you to figure out that
bro.
ring
That would have been
turned.
an hour for me.
And then you're like,
2.5 for me.
I would have had to wait till the up button would have been like, "Do you want a hint?"
dear,
Like, you
dear
would've got-
YouTube.
and for me, it would be like, I would turn it off, take a break, because I would be so mad, and I'll come back, and then it's a little thing that I could have done better. I've been like, God damn it! And so you're telling me this whole 2-hour process of me figuring out this puzzle, it was a little thing that I had to.
BD1 answers.
Yo, literally, Fallen Order was you go to the room where you have to go. There's nothing to do. You leave. Have to come all the way back. I'm back in the room. I got nothing to do here. Leave. Come back. Oh, I had to move that stone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that stone opened up that
it
door.
was very
that's
Tomb
over
Raider.
there.
Yeah,
Like, you kidding me?
Fallen Order reminded me of Tomb Raider and Prince of Persia and all those kind of like
Oh
puzzle
man, I miss
games.
Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia was great.
You remember that cell shaded one?
Oh God, no.
I love that one.
I didn't like
I'm not getting off on a tangent here.
Yeah.
What I do want to bring up,
Star
what I do want to
Wars.
bring up, I was very surprised and happy to see Clancy Brown back as General
Oh yeah.
Alex,
Yeah.
General Morgan.
So he did not General Morgan.
I don't.
Morgan
Dude, it's all
Elsbridge.
crossed up. I never took notes.
the flap is
Governor.
not helping.
Governor and Zali. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
something like that. But he did the live action and he did the voiceover.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
great. I love
And
how they're
even
doing
like
that.
watching the show, I was like, "That's Clancy Brown's voice, obviously," but he looked like
He
Clancy
looked like
Brown
him too. Yeah.
and he's a voice actor that goes all the way back.
Yeah, like that was great. They're hitting every button here. They're hitting every button. You know what was actually kind of nice touch too, and going back to Balin and everything. Have you guys ever seen the artwork for a Dark Obi-Wan Kenobi?
No.
I have. Yeah.
I probably
seen it,
have.
right?
I think
Yeah.
the one that sticks out the most to me is like Yoda, Dark Yoda.
So-
but
In the Dark Obi-Wan Kenobi suit, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Jedi gowns, all black, white hair, white hair.
Yeah.
Instantly, I saw that. I'm like, nah, man, they pulled that. They pulled that, and it looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Balin reminds me of that, and I saw it. I'm like, I love how they're just doing
Or a
this.
dark Santa Claus.
Balin, I'm so curious on.
Ho ho ho.
Yeah.
Jedi, Jedi, Jedi.
If you look at Balin,
No! It's far away from me now. The jitters.
but if you look at Balin, if you try to like guess his age and like figure out the timeline, Balin should have been a Padawan at the same time that Ahsoka was a Padawan.
or he lived on
so who
Tatooine.
was his master? I want to know who was his master and how did he end up there? That's going to be such a fantastic story.
You know,
Like-
you know what got me too, and I thought with Balin is that he was speaking. We all know he was talking to Ahsoka, and I think the one commercial for it or whatever, and he's like,
Yeah.
I knew Anakin Skywalker. He was an amazing Jedi, but few have seen what he's become, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just made me think. I'm like, well, how would you know what he became? And I was thinking, Jedi Temple 501st, was he there?
100%.
Oh,
100%.
No,
boy.
Well,
Are
he
we
could
gonna
have
get
been,
another
but
like Order
he's not going to
66
be that young.
No,
flashback?
he'd be around that age where most of the adult Jedi were fighting.
So
He wouldn't have been a master at that point. He
He
might
would've
have
been
So you're
like-
thinking he's probably.
He's matching like Snips.
yeah, I was gonna say like
he's
17,
matching like
18.
Ahsoka though.
Yeah, they
He
should
should be like an
well,
apprentice like that, like
Ahs-
almost ready.
So Ahsoka at this point is in her mid 50s. If you took timeline wise, she's in her mid 50s.
But her species never knows how old that she really looks.
Correct.
yeah.
They don't look that old. But Balin is a regular humanoid, so he would age differently. But in theory, he would be maybe in his early teens, maybe early 20s
Right.
at
maybe,
that time.
Maybe Balin was like a mad janitor there, and he's like, "Look what Anakin did to this bathroom, that jerk."
What was that thing they did with the SNL? What was the thing they did with SNL when they had
Kylo Ren,
Kylo
their
Ren?
boss.
he was the
Yeah, cover
technician.
boss. Yeah.
No, he was it was a
Yeah.
technician. What was his
Yeah.
name? I forgot his name. Dang, I forgot what it was. But yeah, that would be.
that was
that's really
hilarious.
Balin.
I seen what Anakin did.
I mean, yeah.
He took a dump and didn't clean himself.
I mean, it also makes sense because Kanan was younger than that. He was what?
He's probably
11,
10 years old.
12.
I don't know. I'm a little excited now that
Kanan was-
there's a possibility of another
Yeah.
like Order 66 flashback.
I mean, I thought about it this morning as I was like driving in. I'm like, you know what? Like, what?
I have a question.
Answer.
I'm just asking. It probably wasn't even in the cards, but hypothetically, let's say this show does well, and we want to know more about his character. Do you think we would have gotten the series?
No.
Or something? No.
He's not one of those characters that would be necessary.
What
to
about
have a
Tales of the
series.
Jedi? Animated.
Or so, yeah, like something like that, like a little
Well,
short.
the
filled
Tales
in.
of the Jedi stuff. I mean, it could.
Is it? Because there's a season 2 coming out, isn't there?
There
Yes.
is, yeah.
But they shut that studio down. Is that the same studio
No,
they
so
shut
the
down?
CGI studio in Singapore, that did all
Okay.
the Clone Wars and the Rebel stuff. They're still.
Did
doing
they
the
even
cartoon
confirm
thing.
what the season 2 is? Did they ever say anything yet? No.
No, I think the first season was Ahsoka and
What is it,
Count
Larry?
Dooku. So, hello,
What
you
is
right
it?
there?
You know what would be so cool
No, you haven't told us yet. Wow.
if his master was the one that grabbed Grogu and ran.
Oh,
Ahmad Best's
the-
character. Forgot his name.
oh no, it was Jar Jar, the guy who played Jar Jar, who picked
Yeah.
him up.
Oh,
his
yeah,
name,
yeah,
though?
yeah.
Huh?
I wouldn't
No.
be like, oh my god.
No, I
He
would
was
be
a
because
Jedi
that's the
Master, though.
Because that's right.
He was a
'Cause
master.
that would be the connection to Grogu.
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting,
Th-
but I can't
this-
see
this
that
show-
being his master.
well, don't-
Yeah.
The
don't forget-
styles are completely
I
different.
feel like we're also forgetting
But
that
they
this
used to do that a lot.
show is going to
Yeah,
connect
true.
to that movie.
yeah, no,
Because we're
definitely.
going to get Thrawn back, and he's the main
This is-
protagonist
he-
in that movie.
He's the big baddie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever happens in the show is going to go on to the movie.
So we're
now,
gonna.
are
But we got
getting
that
a
writer
Mando-
strike and the actor strike.
I mean, we're gonna not see this for a while, guys. Be prepared for the long ride.
Yeah.
But
when
are we
we
getting
get it? Can you imagine Ahsoka fighting alongside with Grogu, fighting alongside with Ezra? Like that's
And a
gonna
fully
be the
trained
Force
Sabine?
users and Sabine.
timeline wise, can we
Bo-Katan,
get would
and
Luke be in there? Like
He would technically be
truly like
alive.
super
Super OP.
Jedi Luke that we saw in the hallway.
we need that.
We
Oh
need
my
that.
God, do we need that?
We do.
We need.
Yeah.
We,
Can
we
you imagine if they
need
drop like
that.
Duel of the Fates too? Like when he
Oh
comes
my
out, like
God.
come on.
We need. But y'all failed. Y'all ruined the last 3 Star Wars movies. Y'all ruined Luke because you're stupid. You're stupid storyline.
And I quote
Relax,
Mark Hamill.
relax,
I
relax,
fundamentally disagree with this.
Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
You-
Happy thoughts.
You can turn it all around, Disney. You can turn it all around Star
Listen.
Wars. Give us the Luke that we need.
Now,
Let Filoni be.
I never.
I don't think we're getting Luke though.
No, I think we will.
I never.
I don't think we do. Because I think the highlight of this is Ahsoka. So you bring Luke in, Luke being OP like we all want him to be, way overshadows Ahsoka.
But here's the thing.
And you lose the whole, like,
But if
all
Luke,
this is
if
for
Luke
naught.
fails,
And then Luke could have came in and
Ahsoka
destroyed it.
overcomes.
You know.
That's
It would be
That's-
the ultimate thing. Is like the father where the father failed, the son has picked it up.
Yeah, but I don't want
Or-
Luke like that,
or,
though.
man.
I want an
And the
actual
son and the
story of
apprentice
seeing
fighting
Luke
together?
go there.
or it'd be or something happens and Ahsoka looks at Luke like, listen, I failed your father. I'm not failing you.
Yeah!
Yo,
Yes!
Kevin wins podcasting for the day. That's expensive. Don't drop that.
It's really not, but all right.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Home run,
Oh.
Kev.
Home run.
Home run.
Thank you.
Dude, that was great.
But it makes sense.
Makes
'Cause
perfect sense.
That'll be like we said. We don't know how long Ahsoka's going to be around. That could be the way to have Ahsoka go.
And is that why Luke? Oh, I guess Luke
But
walks
then
away
what would
for
be
other
the
reasons. Never
point
mind.
of them trying to push this whole Sabine narrative of being a Jedi? I'm not a big fan of the idea, to be quite honest with you.
That's the being Jedi. Yeah.
Listen,
Especially with like the dark sabers destroyed.
well, here,
and
and
all
that's
that.
my thing. So you got the dark saber destroyed. There's nothing needed for her for Mandalore. That's already taken care of. Bo-Katan and Mando's got that, right? When it comes down to it, even the droid said, "You are on the bottom of the list when it comes to Jedi potential."
Oh,
Go for it, Frank.
Go ahead.
Ding, 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 ding.
How was he saying that, though?
He was trying to say, "Hey, listen, you could be better." You know what I mean? But like, you gotta work hard.
But I think it's more of like, look at Sabine's character. Sabine's character is the character of like, oh no, you can't do that. You ain't good enough, and you can't do that.
I don't think that's the case.
That totally is the case. Why does she join the Empire? Because her family is like, oh no, you can't do that. You're not good enough to do that. So she joins the Empire and then creates the thing that's going to destroy all the Mandalorians. You know, why does she finally master the Darksaber? Because Kanan says, you can't do that. You have no connection to the Force.
I see where you're
You
getting
have none of that. You're not good enough. You're never going to be able to do this. And she doubles down and she learns it and she can do it.
I see. where you're
I
coming from.
think you have this master Jedi. All right, it's a robot. It's a master Jedi. That's training Jedis how to put together lightsabers. And part of that training Jedis how to put together lightsabers is for them to find the Force and find the connection to the crystal to then eventually be able to make their lightsaber.
Okay.
So it's pushing them no matter what.
It's him sitting there going, "Yeah, you suck. you don't even match any of the Padawans that I taught, and
So
I taught
she's just
little
gonna take
babies
that
how
and
to
run with
make
it.
lightsabers."
He's over here like, embrace the suck, Sabine. Embrace it.
I think that's that push. It's you're terrible. You can't
My thing about
flip
this,
the switch.
my thing is about it is like, why do we have to have Sabine do it? What is the purpose to bringing Sabine into the training?
So she can fight Dark Ezra.
Her purpose is to bring.
Or she sacrificed herself for Ezra. Who says she's a future thing? Who
I'm going to
says?
drop a bombshell on you guys.
Or
I don't like you right now.
like I said about Ahsoka, if she dies and Ezra finishes her training.
Could be that.
I mean, we were always under the impression that Ezra would train Grogu. Remember?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
I'll drop a bombshell. I think her purpose, just like we talked in the last episode, what was the purpose of the father? Sabine's purpose is to bring Ahsoka back into the Order, to bring her back into actually being a Jedi, instead of being this Ronin, this gray Jedi out there on her own.
But we got Luke for that. Though,
And
at
that
this
goes
point.
and that goes to what I was saying, how she failed Anakin, she's not gonna fail Luke.
Exactly.
I mean, at this point,
And that leads to I had a second question. And I saw it on Frank's phone. A YouTuber asked the question, how come Ahsoka hasn't brought Thrawn up to Luke? Or to any of what's happening?
because you gotta. I mean, here's the thing.
Her
I feel like
battle?
yeah, it's her battle. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She's been dealing with this Thrawn thing since Rebels. You know what I mean? And I'm sure Luke knows of Thrawn, but I'm pretty sure Ahsoka's like, I got this, bro.
You concentrate on bringing up the next.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
task, your purpose is to bring up the Order that all got killed. So while you concentrate on that, I concentrate on the threat that's going to stop these youngins from actually growing.
Mm-hmm. And I think like for Ahsoka, we talked about it. She's on the path of light and slightly on the path of dark. You know what I mean? She's in between the two.
Is it dark?
It's
she
not,
dark?
not
I wouldn't
dark,
really.
but I feel like
I wouldn't say dark.
I wouldn't say dark, but here's the thing.
It's on the
She-
side of pain.
Yeah, but she's also had her
Yeah.
dark journey through.
that whole bomb situation.
Yeah, she's already done the whole Sith walk thing.
Slightly. Yeah, she tiptoed into it.
Yeah.
From that to her leaving the Order into Anakin
So
going
she
to Darth Vader. I mean,
she knows both sides, and I think she's realized that there's a balance, and it needs to be the balance. You can't teeter to one side and have too much power on one side than the other. It's
it does kind of remind me of Obi-Wan,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
Obi-Wan handled it differently than she did.
Most will, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's the beauty about this whole thing is that everybody is tiptoeing back and forth between the light and the dark. But when they really understand the Force is when they understand that there's only one Force. There's a light side and a dark side. We call it yin and yang. So at the
Mhm.
end of the day, you walk the path, but that one path is the path. There's no one side heavier than the other. It's just one.
From a point of view. To quote many Star Wars arguments, from a particular point of view, it's the light side or it's the dark side, when in reality it's just the Force.
Mm-hmm. Yoda said it
Now-
best.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Are they going to bring up Sandul's baby at any point?
I heard that they would.
Okay.
Caleb, right? Or something like that?
I don't know his name.
Yeah,
Caleb,
there was
maybe.
rumors that there was going to be an episode or so where he would be in it, and at this point he would be older.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's years later after the Empire
Yeah,
fell.
that's kind of one of my questions. I'm not exactly like, what is the time frame jump?
So apparently, Sabine, when she was in her home thing, or whatever, She said, I haven't seen Ahsoka in years.
Yes.
So my assumption is that this is all around the same time as Mando, which at this
that's what I'm
point
saying.
is
Does
like,
it take
is.
place like
It's all at the
season
same
3?
time as Mando.
Okay, okay.
so it's season
Yeah.
3 of Mando.
Okay.
So and that is after the fall of the Empire. It's about 10 to 15 years.
I was gonna say like probably over a decade since Return
Yeah.
of the Jedi.
So it's some time.
Because we're starting to get the First Order, the rise of the First Order from Mando.
Mm-hmm.
So
Speaking of like the rise of the First Order and like the fall of the Empire, how cool is it to see them like tearing the Star Destroyers apart and then being like,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
Sandola just being like, that's from a Super Star Destroyer. Why the F do you got it?
Mm-hmm. That was actually kind of cool that they're making the spacecraft. Did you ever notice that the big eye of Zion? Remember the Jedi starfighters when they had to take these long
Mhm.
journeys? They had the
noticed that
same
too.
exact
I thought
thing.
the same
They were
thing.
like,
Ship,
oh,
yeah.
damn. Yeah, I thought that was kind of dope.
But what the hell size ship are they building that for?
And you notice how they took the part and they put it into a bigger part. It wasn't even like that was the main part. Like,
Well,
no,
like-
there's probably multiple
and,
in
like,
there to
Yep.
power this
That's
thing.
a Super Star Destroyer. I only thought there was one of them. I guess there was more.
I guess
Like,
so.
I guess
for
Vader
the Star
had
Destroyers,
his.
yeah, there was more.
Oh,
There was
okay.
more.
Super though, the super
Super
ones there was
yes.
only like I only knew of 2.
Because remember when like the regular Star Destroyer crashed and it was like this big.
Yeah. And then you get the big O thing that looks like a damn city on the top of it. I was like,
And
"Ooh."
Akbar goes.
Because the lore is that they went to the Super Star Destroyers after the first
Yeah.
Death Star was blown up.
Yeah.
So that way, like, they could use essentially that technology within a Super Star Destroyer, and they didn't need a Death Star, but yet they still rebuilt a Death Star.
That backfired nicely. Oh,
And
man.
then they kind of rebuilt it again.
Yeah.
do it again, do it again, do it again. Oh man.
Now peep this. We got all that pulled out of us from 2 episodes.
2 episodes.
2 episodes.
2 episodes.
How crazy.
2. We have 6 more left, people.
Let's go.
6 more episodes left.
And they're doing it at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It will be 3 a.m. on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You won't watch it at that time?
I'll be in bed.
That's kind of bedtime. It's,
Oh,
that's
that's
like
a lot of-
reading,
Yeah, I
reading
didn't
books to the
joke in
kid.
the chat.
I'm off on Wednesday, so I can just wake
I
up
can
and
hold
watch it.
off until the next day because
I'm
I
gonna
go
watch
be
it.
sleeping.
Look, and
If I'm not
Charlie gets 3 golden books from me and 3 golden books from my wife.
I-
That's bedtime.
I promise you, the goal was for us to watch it all together, and then they changed everything up.
Yeah.
And it was just
Yeah,
like-
the last weekend.
No, don't look at me. Blame
No,
Filoni.
no, it wasn't George.
No, I
because
wasn't.
George had Wednesday free. We was going to all go and meet up, probably with Jose, and go and watch it. But that didn't happen because they want to go ahead and release it on freaking
We need to
Tuesday.
find another reason to do
So-
like a pool party at Jose's house.
Bro,
Yeah,
summer's almost over, man. We don't got much
Yeah,
time.
we don't
got much
time.
It's gonna be ice swimming.
Listen, he did say projector on the side of his house. So either way, we can make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, it's going down. So Jose, when you watch this episode, once again, we're plotting. Remember me.
We're coming for you, bud.
Oh,
Drink some coffee. You're getting grumpy.
yeah.
Oh, man.
There
You
go.
understand me, fellas.
Eat your Snickers.
That's
You're not you when you're not drinking coffee.
All right, so hey, look, we've been talking for long enough about Ahsoka. We appreciate y'all guys' time. Any last words when it comes to everyone before we get to Frank?
Thank you for watching everything that we've been doing. Actually, I got to give a shout out to Kev and Larry for the GNT Sports thing that they got going on.
Yeah, they got like a good schedule on everything.
Great
You guys
schedule.
are on point. Kev, not to cut you off, like hosting duties on top of everything.
Bro.
My
You are killing it,
I'm not
buddy.
gonna lie to you. Thinking about that,
Dude, that's the. I saw you take a sip of the coffee.
Yo, but
Dude, you're natural. You're doing great.
definitely want to give a shout out to Tony and Joel for joining the team on the sports side. Check those guys out. They know their stuff.
every Wednesday.
I have no idea about sports. If you talk music, I got you. But yeah, tune in. What do you guys do every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday live.
Every Wednesday is either going to be live or a drop on Wednesday.
Yeah, so tune into you guys. Yeah, great job. I think that's That's something nice to have because at the end of the day, man, sports is nerdy.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes, it
Sports
is.
is nerdy. I heard you talking stats, and I'm like, nerd.
Thank you.
So, tune into both things now because you got all of that on Instagram and Facebook, and
Mhm.
you all the whole nine. You got it. Just follow.
Yeah.
Follow.
Comment, like, subscribe,
He said it.
all that.
I couldn't think of the words. I'm sorry. Coffee's dying on me.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to check out Geeks of the Nerd Table on Apple Podcasts,
Your
Spotify.
voice. Oh my god.
So soothing.
Can you just do like ebooks, bro?
I probably could, but it'd probably be notes like that, and it wouldn't go so well.
You'll hear it in the
Hold on,
background.
what's the name again?
I got fresh. I threw it on the ground.
Can we say something about that real quick? 'Cause every time he flapped, you guys remember Switch, the movie?
Yeah.
And Adam Sandler was in his like hospital bed and he had the flap and he's like well, that's him with the paper.
Take your word
Got
for
that
it.
name too.
You mean click?
Click. There we go. I said Switch.
Yeah, that's what I want. What
Click.
Switch?
You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
I know
about.
what
you're doing, yeah.
He's
like, oh,
he's
I
like,
know
what
you're
is
talking
this?
Yeah.
And he starts playing with it.
Well, that's Mike with paper. Anyway, yeah.
about. Last words, Kev?
We're about to reach 100 subscribers, gentlemen.
Woo!
Thank you to everyone who's been subscribing, following us, and Mike with the videos, absolutely killing
Yeah.
on Instagram. 2,000 plays, the last one. 2,000 plays.
Last
It's at like
few.
2,100.
Like,
They've
that's
been
Don't
crazy,
short
dude.
the man. Don't
Yo,
short the man. 21.
If anyone out there is watching it, let me know what you want to see. I got boxes and boxes and boxes of action figures. I still have books. I'm going to do that. We just talked last episode. We talked about a Jurassic Park book. I'm going to do that. Give me some feedback, please. Please give me some feedback.
Or give them a like.
Yeah,
they're great.
They're like
The little
they're like,
spinning thing is so cool.
Yeah,
I think it's so
Dude,
cool.
I had to get like 3 of them because like the first one had a cord and I was like, oh, I can't do it with the cord. Then I had another one that was like, it would like constantly creak and it would like stutter and I'd be like, oh no. And insider note, now this one kind of stutters, but I speed it up.
Oh,
And then I
Nice.
edit all the photos.
he's getting clever with the edits here.
Yeah. Oh, I am married to a Photoshop girl. So.
That is true.
There you
That
go.
is true.
There you go. So that is it for us. I have nothing. We just want to thank y'all guys for continuously just supporting us. Please, once again, as you already heard, please like, comment, and subscribe. And for the first time in a while, we actually are going to do. I got you.
He's got it.
We're actually going to have words of encouragement. That's something that I usually try to do every single episode, and we kind of stopped for a little bit because our schedule's just been so crazy. And it's kind of hard to deliver that from like home. So now that we're together, we're going to have another words of encouragement, but this time it's going to come from Frank. So Frank, what you got for us?
No pressure.
All right, guys. So, a long time ago, in the galaxy not so far away, we had an episode that doesn't air. And I said this once before.
The mystery episode that no one knows we had.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Only us
Didn't
three knew.
happen.
That was a good
Oh,
one.
4.
Four of
Oh,
us.
Mike,
Yeah,
there
four
was-
of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
4.
It was also about Star Wars. So,
Redemption episode.
I am going to partially rehash that. And partially rehashing that, also, Larry, did you see my face half the time as we were talking tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. You should have seen the face of man that is so freaking proud of you. Because you, at one point, said to me, I have a plan and it doesn't involve me because I have nothing to say about it. And that was about Star Wars. Now, how much you have dropped. And back then when you dropped stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I got to give a shout out to him because he has some knowledge and doesn't realize it. Tonight, you were dropping bombs left and right, too. And you're a man that says, I don't know much about Star Wars.
You
and
gave
I
me
don't
chills,
got my
bro.
voice.
Chills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You know, so uplifting you with that, bro.
Thank you.
And it definitely, this is what I love about Star Wars. Star Wars is such a vast universe, and people have taken it tons of different directions and have just loved on it. There is a lot of hate, but that's because we love it so much that we want it to be perfect. So much. But that also means there is plenty of room for you to come up to this table and join that conversation. That's the part I love about Star Wars, is people that sit there like Larry and say, I don't have anything to say, but then start watching and start participating, and they put things together, and they make everybody else that has sat here for years and analyzed and talked and debated and thought about these things go,
Or
that is... Yeah. Like, no matter what, if you think that you're an outsider and you don't know enough to actually be a part of the conversation, I'm here to tell you that you're not. That's the greatest part of this. The greatest part of Star Wars, the greatest part of any of the geeky, nerdy things that we discuss and talk about, there is room at the table and there is a place for you. So go on, grab that chair, pull it up to the table, and be a part of the conversation. Welcome to the table.
Ooh. Frankie, welcome to the team, brother.
Thank you, Frankie. Baby! All right, we out. Be easy.
See y'all.
Peace.
Adios.